Welcome, everyone, here to Second Wake. This is our ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign for Monday nights. It follows the events of the Weaver's Chosen, of Lady Gulanti, and their expeditions across the Everweald, an open-sourced homebrew world that's been available for quite some time now, and I've decided to write a story to it, because why not? I'm in quarantine. What else am I doing other than work? Not a lot. When we last played, the group did a number of miraculous things. Chief among them was finally returning back to Direwood, and I should totally fix this. Wham! That thing, right there in the middle of the stream. Direwood, their main home city, they returned to it from far to the north of Grim Village. After some rather interesting interactions with the undead, a number of strange... creepy insectoid type things, some ghoulies, some weird people, dudes who speak in very direct sentences, all kinds of nonsense. They recovered the package they were intended to find among the exploration and trading company. They met the actual Trenton Quas himself, worked with him to repair his ferry, recover some of his cargo, goods, and services, and more or less helped him skip town, heading further and further south, back to Direwood. Upon returning to Direwood, the group delivered the package ordered by the Lady Gulanti, their matron, etc., etc., etc. She was rather pleased at the returning of this item and everything going to plan. The item in question being a wooden box, no bigger than a bread box, covered in strange and faded inked talismans of some sort or design, runes that run the length of the box. With that, they also delivered the letter they had received from their previous benefactor, Mr. Lamont, the insistence being that Lamont and his associates would definitely be excited, or rather, how do you say excited? Rather confident that the Lady Gulanti would be ecstatic to receive this letter, as well as to further put her Weaver's Chosen in the service of Mr. Lamont and his associates. During the last week, we have experienced some downtime, so the players themselves have gone forward. Some of them used their time in town, some of the gold they found in their pockets, to explore, recover, gain knowledge, or otherwise just enjoy what it is to have the ability in 2020 to use a Discord server effectively, which that's the coolest thing in the world, is that everyone can be in different places and still be connected in that way. Not to get real with anybody, but you know, a lot of crap in the world. Always nice that if you can check in on your friends, hang out with them virtually, anything like that, it is an absolute marvel that that is a thing that is happening. So much like what my players experience, we hope that at least tonight you have a distraction from everything going on in the world. For that, and on that topic, would anyone like to tell or explain to the group, as you all do eventually come to a long rest, you all recover from your day off, effectively, your day of recovery. When you all meet in the morning over breakfast, does anyone want to... do you want to explain what you did with your time off, or go into detail about the things that you utilized with your free day, or maybe spent your gold? If anyone wants to over breakfast, you can inform both the viewing audience as well as your fellow teammates as you all arrive back into breakfast with the Gulanti estate. On to you guys.
Bucky comes in and he starts showing off his new scale mail armor and his new rapier to everyone. And he says, "Missed you guys at the bar last night. Where were you?"
Last night I had a fine dinner and then did more work.
Oh.
Orville, turn your mic around.
Turn your mic around.
I was switch muted on my cord. I did absolutely nothing, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Well, I was wandering around the trade winds for a hot minute, but then I came back and I read. Had a nice calm evening.
All things
Well,
to
I started out, and I know y'all saw me fall asleep at breakfast, and then y'all left. So I woke up, and I found this twig on the ground. And I started whittling it. Before I knew it, Belltail came back and told me about that axe that I don't want anything to do with. Then I went to sleep and woke up, and now I'm here. So
Oh, you
pretty
mean
much nothing.
Bugface's axe?
I'll
Yeah.
get into all of it in a moment. Unless anyone else has anything to say, I feel like I have the most.
Oh.
Actually, I was at one of the booths where I was buying a few books, and I don't know if anyone knows anything or anyone knows like what it means, but there's this gnome fella, and he said when I asked about the king under the mountain, or the king whatever, the caster, the guy, he said his light may hang low, but the sun shall rise. As kind of like a pass code, and I didn't know what to say back.
Going to assume no idea?
I haven't the foggiest.
What could that mean?
If you know, then you know.
Yeah, no history checks or anything. Nope.
No.
No
And
idea.
The beautiful thing about passwords is you don't write them down in history books.
I'm afraid I haven't the faintest idea.
Well, if we find out and maybe we see him at some point, I think he's got some more information on whoever that may be, and maybe some other dealings and workings and all that shit.
Well, if he's aware of secret passwords that they use, he may not be willing to share such information with people who he can't necessarily trust.
So do we just start saying this at every short, hairy dwarf cretin that
What?
walks around and see if any of them give us the password?
Certainly, Orville.
Definitely.
You could try, but you might wind up with an axe in your face.
Also, he was a gnome fella, not a dwarf. So.
But yes, I went with you. Most of you were aware. We made our way to the other state, and I was able to spend most of my day copying down some spells. For anyone who wasn't aware, I now can identify, and I summoned my little friend here, and I have a flying snake wrapped around my arm. It is like a pure alabaster white black mamba
And you
with
chose a snake?
bat wings. A flying snake.
Ugh.
Well, you can summon your own familiar cult, and you can get a badger mold or something.
I'm just saying, I did tell you several times about those 300 snakes, and I just don't trust those things.
Well, Aja does exactly as I command, and there's only one of her.
You know, there was another time with a badger that I ran into on a bridge. You know, me and my company were walking down this bridge, and all of a sudden we see this man, a hairless looking thing, at the end of it, and it's just picking up crabs off the side of the bridge. And it was real hairless, and we walked up, we didn't know what it was, and we thought he was committing some kind of crime, so we kept walking towards him, and he looked at us, and it was a completely naked badger man, all oiled up and everything. So we were like, what is that? And then he started running at us, and we didn't know what to do. We thought he was going to attack us as we draw our swords. And then all of a sudden he comes up and hugs my friend. He doesn't even try to attack him. We didn't know what to do. We got out of there. It was a crazy situation. Naked mole man.
That might have been my cousin, Colt.
Right. Well, that's all very fascinating. I'm sure we can talk about JJ's family later and more of Colt's wonderful exploits. But the main point of what I was getting at is that I was able to identify all of the items that we procured off of our buggy friend. First was the Great Axe, which with it wields some extra necromantic energy, but that same power will cause harm to the wielder if they are not undead. Next is the bracelet, which makes you considered to be undead, and also provides you an extra chance at life when at death's door. And lastly are the snacks that I'm glad Orville didn't eat, because they'll be very useful later. They're mending maggots, and I will use those to save your lives later.
So I could have ate them. And I would've been
You're
fine.
always so quiet, Orville.
So I could have ate them, and I would have been
And
fine.
you would have felt better, yes. Well, I don't know if you should swallow them, quite honestly. We can test that later when you're in dire straits.
Just to
When?
bounce off that. Oh, go ahead, Bucky.
Oh no, you're good. I was just interjecting.
Just to bounce off, Miss Bell, we did buy a wand all together, just so we can have some extra feel good in the field.
Yes, that
Is
only
that-
has 3 charges, though, I believe. So we have 3 more with these 3 maggots, so... The more chances to keep us alive in the field, the better.
Yeah, that cape got a little dire.
Oh.
You're telling me.
But yes, I also have one last spell that I learned, Tensor's Floating Disc, so if there's ever anything heavy we need to move or bring along with us, we won't have to have Colt carry it.
Wait, what? No one said I had to carry that axe. I don't know how I feel about that thing.
Colt, you're not cursed. The axe is sort of cursed, but it's really more of an active thing where just not being undead is the problem.
Now, Velethil, I trust you and all because you're one of them magic people, magic kind of people. But
We're called
How do you-
elves.
how are you sure that I'm not cursed? Because that green guy, whatever his name is, I can't remember it.
In general, curses require something to be done. Whether it's like a spell, there'll be verbal or material or somatic components, or if a creature is going to give you a particular curse, they have to do something to you. And all he did was give you a rash from a little bite.
I mean,
You
that
saw
is
the effect
doing
of that. There's
something,
a
and then he
paradise.
did say I was cursed. So I mean, that's verbal and touching and stuff.
Let me ask you this, because he said the curse was you were going to have debilitating hemorrhoids, correct?
Yes,
Have you experienced that?
not yet.
Then you're fine.
All right.
Bucky's
Just
gonna
keep
walk
an eye
over.
on your ass.
I mean, that's kind of hard. I don't know if I can look that there.
I can
I
do
am
it for you.
Mia.
But little did Colt know, things were not fine. Oh goodness. So yeah, you all share a bit of breakfast together, recap each other on some of the events and journeys you embarked on from throughout the week, aka the last 24 hours. As you all continue to enjoy your breakfast, you get about halfway through, nearly done. Your cups are sitting at half empty, and you hear the large doors that lead further into the estate proper swing open, and a familiar face of Lady Tristina Gulanti walks forward. Oh, that's going to kill me. Colt, this thing is not the little scroll. It's not it's not perfectly symmetrical. It's gonna just boggle my OCD.
It
Anyway,
is. It's perfectly symmetrical.
maybe I'm just
Honestly,
crazy.
the whole thing it has a little grid thing that I worked off of.
Oh, I'll have to figure it out. It's probably something I messed up when I overlaid it. Anyhoozle, the Lady Gulanti enters into the room, strutting, striding, moving with some grace, holding in her hand a folded bit of paper and parchment. She looks over and softly addresses your group, and she goes, "Good morning, my chosen. I do hope you enjoyed your day to yourself. I am curious. Everyone, I hope I didn't have to, pinch anyone out from the local authorities, so I do hope everyone enjoyed themselves moderately, but to the best of their ability."
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good to hear. And she turns and looks at Bucky and she goes, "Honestly, I just want to hear something, if you would oblige me, Bucky. Your ABCs, could you go up to E for me?"
A, B, C, D, E.
Wonderful. Not even a hangover in any bit and sound of your voice. I am ever so proud of you for having some moderation, my good man. Well then, and she looks around to the group and she goes, "As you all are more than expecting at this point, we did receive a letter from an interested party that was rather taken with your ability to problem solve and deliver justice, or rather protection. Mr. Lamont writes rather highly for his experiences, and as well his benefactors, who are very much alluded to but not directly said in this letter." And she kind of waves it in front of her face. She goes, "I am rather curious at not so much the story. Lord knows it is too early to hear one of Colt's ramblings. Not that they're not entertaining, but it is a bit early for that for my liking. I just need to more or less assess this. The overall feeling and attitudes of Mr. Lamont and his people, are they, individuals of honor, and are they rather serious at this? Not that I have distrust innately, but not for anything here. You all are rather new as far as for embarking on long journeys, and I do worry that this might be a bit overwhelming for you."
Can I just ask a quick question out of character?
Go for it.
Did we tell the lady about our journey there? Like the item and stuff?
Colt started in on it, and then she kind of cut him off because it wasn't something that was directly involving her receiving her item.
Gotcha.
If you will recall, her big thing is that Lamont was she thought she was pulling a fast one on him and getting him to finance, like, effectively a bonus, which is why you guys got paid so much gold, but got paid a bonus to do a job she wanted you to do anyway, which was kind of what she uses you guys most often for. While there are other chosen that are under the Gulanti estate, you all seem to be the group that is like the go-getters, the gophers, the package delivery and retrieval team for the most part. So kind of really getting a start to actually leaving Direwood is a big deal, especially for many of you who have worked for her for years. She enjoys utilizing chosen for their primary purpose, but also you have learned in the many years and even weeks that some of you have served her, that the lady, as much as she likes utility and the usefulness of chosen, she also does enjoy the flaunting of ability. Having 6 individuals that are, destined for greatness or have power within them, and being able to use them for mundane things that a servant could accomplish is very much a show or a flexation of power and of her station. It's kind of like a flaunt, if you will. But yeah, no, she hasn't actually understood anything as far as for the journey you all experienced and the hardships on the road. Colt went into it in a kind of a speed, like, "Oh, let me tell you about this guy Haka and this other thing and 4 of these and 2 of those." But she more or less waved him off at that point. So this is her first official request for more information about these people and the actual journey itself.
Okay, thanks.
Hmm.
Bucky's gonna chime in and say, to be honest, my lady, he wasn't very forthright with us. He was definitely hiding something.
Hmm. And that is...
He-
Oh, go right ahead, JJ.
I mean, from what we could understand, perhaps there is a deeper meaning to their travels, and they seem quite serious about it.
Yes.
He was in possession of some item of Ardnum that was the true purpose of his trip.
Curious.
We do not know what it was. We chose that focusing on retrieving your item was more important than causing trouble with his.
And very well that you have done this. Again, I expected no less from my chosen, and especially those of you who have loyalty to the Gulanti estate and my good name. It is in this instance, and rather curious circumstance, that I find myself at a bit of an impasse. The assumption, or rather inclination, that this individual or these individuals possess an artifact of Ardnum is truly something that does concern me, as I have taken up recently a desire, we will say, to collect such things myself. Many of these artifacts, or remnants of the now war-torn and desolate area of Ardnum, the nation itself, are rather peculiar, and many of them are expensive, to say the least. If they are in possession of such, that would clear up a bit of my hesitation in this matter. And I find myself, as I've said previously, at an impasse. I have, well, something I was more or less waiting on for some more experienced of my chosen to embark on, but to say the least, it is a bit of intel that I have, we will say, negotiated away from my competitors about a kindred artifact of Ardnum that I myself am hoping to procure. That is rather far from our current destination, but I would see that this be taken care of immediately. However, I'm not one to be so foolish as to look a absorbent sum of coin with a downturned nose. This offer they've placed on the table would see you all go far to the north. So far, in fact, that I would suspect that Mr. Lamont is in the company of a number of the mountain kin, those commonly referred to as dwarves, which, if they are currently traveling and traversing with an artifact of Ardnum, it would make more sense that they would require your protection. The offer on the table is a staggering amount indeed, and that is what has raised alarms within me. But I suppose I should leave this up to you, my chosen. Between the two, or rather your choice, what is it that you would see be most beneficial to myself? Do you believe
I
these...
suppose. That is my curiosity, is do you believe it is beneficial to yourself for us to assist them in this?
Well, I have not come across this Mr. Lamont in any length of time such as you all have. If you believe there is something to this, I would see that perhaps it might be of interest to us. The coin is correct, or rather, more than generous for services rendered, at least what is being offered in his letter. But there are other matters pressing at this moment that I would hope to see accomplished by my chosen. I could wait for other captains to return back with their teams from their various missions to further collect the items that I have rather set my eyes upon. But, in that same sense as well, it would be an opportunity for you all to accomplish this task with haste and with motivation. I suppose I don't quite know where I stand on this, and I would lean to your insight on the matter, at least being open to hearing it.
My lady, Mr. Lamont seemed genuinely fearful of his employers, and the shadow beings that were pursuing him are the ones that attacked us on the road.
Hmm. And were these shadow beings a true test of your strength, or are they something that I might better utilize more experienced members of the family to assist in?
We defeated them, but the forces at work here seem greater than we were led to believe.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you were perhaps looking for confirmation on who his benefactors were, ma'am. But I think Moore had done a little scoping out, and then she had showed us some writing that kind of signaled to us who these people were exactly. And I'm not sure if perhaps having another kingdom have artifacts of Artnum is an issue or anything. I'm not sure if that is something in the grand scheme of things, maybe.
Of course. And while I do understand this concern, it again is entirely up to what exactly this artifact may or may not be. If it is, well, dangerous, or perhaps weaponry of some kind that they have stowed away, then yes, having it fall into the hands of a kingdom could tilt the scales and balance of power around the realm as we know it. While we are free in a sense here in Direwood, we do still serve masters, the king who lives in Silverhearth, and of course the king under the wilds, are two individuals that have seen a truce of neutrality, that our fair city might be ruled by the oligarchy at large, myself counted among this voting collective. But I suppose I am ill-informed in this matter. I have my suspicions, but Morrigan, you say you uncovered some information about these individuals. Might you share that with me so that I may make a more informed decision as how to best utilize you and your team?
Of course. The people that I noticed him passing the item off to and just looking generally nervous were heavily armored with runic sigils that are for the king under the wilds.
So my suspicions are confirmed then. He has ties to the dwarven nobility, and most likely your far venture north would see you scale and climb to the entrance of Iskander under Mount Barzul, which again, having a favor owed to a group of chosen by dwarven nobility is rather tempting. It would all be whether or not we would want to involve ourselves. An action such as this carries with it a number of political mores and forays that we would have to dedicate ourselves to in a certain sense. We would have to be drawing a line in the sand that House Gulanti is very much in the favor of the Dwarven Empire and its nobility. So I ask to you, from these individuals, you heard fear in their voices. Lamont himself seems to have been rather quick-witted enough to pull the wool over my eyes. Is it something that we should, or rather, in your opinions as Weaver's chosen, we should even involve ourselves in at this time? Or is it something that we should allow take its natural course, and should these, as you've said, Mr. Bucky, shadow monsters harry them and harrow their journey, perhaps we just let things go the way that they should naturally occur, and not intervene? Please, any insight at all I would rather welcome at this point.
It's from my, at the very least from my assessment, I imagine that since they're imparting a large amount of gold, they'll be able to find someone to protect them along the way. I don't think the challenge of those creatures that we ran into is I can't say for sure whether or not it'll be greater. I mean, we faced them twice and they were stronger the second time. Could possibly be stronger a third time if someone were to run into them again, but it's likely that they're going to hire someone else. Having that favor on our side would be very beneficial in my eyes, at the very least. I agree with that.
And that is a rather pressing concern in that regard, Mr. Honeycutt. While they definitely can most likely, especially with the offer they've placed within this letter, afford hired swords and well-trained hands, there is something to be said for that of the ability and prowess of the Weavers chosen. You all are possessed of truly remarkable grit, ability, and power that normal individuals are not capable of, in my experience. Especially now, from the musings they've written upon this letter, they are afraid to wait too long within Grim Village, and they're hoping to see a turnaround and decision within as quickly as possible, but a maximum of, I believe they mentioned, a week waiting. To this end, it would seem that we are in a opportune position that should you think it be worth our time, we could press for a number of benefits besides just a thank you, a sum of coin, and a favor owed. We could press for much larger influences among these people, but I don't know if they can be reasoned with, and I don't truly enjoy the idea of 6 of my now rather accomplished chosen being dispatched for an unknown period of time to an unknown enemy under an unknown banner and employer.
I don't trust Mr. Lamont, and I don't trust the people he works for, but the entire situation is very curious to me, and I will gladly, if the group wishes, pursue this venture. But I do see the reason that we may not wish to be involved in this as well. They will continue to be hounded. We don't know the full truths behind what they are dealing with.
I don't see
Ow.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't see Mr. Lamont as much of a threat. I mean, he's a coward, and he'd definitely turn on us at the first opportunity, but knowing that, it's not much of an issue, at least in
No, I
my
didn't mean
experience.
him.
Well, yeah, his employers are definitely, I don't know anything about them.
I just meant that I don't trust Lamont. He's proved that in his behavior and whatever situation he's gotten himself in with them.
He did say that this item we could potentially die for seeing. So what I'm worried about, if it could affect Direwood, if it's going to the King of the Wilds, and it's potentially a weapon of some sort or something negative.
I mean, I'm pretty dead set on throwing in my vote. I think we should pursue it at least to gain more information about it, to know what we're getting ourselves into, rather than to turn a blind eye to it and hope for the best. Honestly, that's my vote. I mean, I defer to you guys, and of course I'm more than willing to change my mind. I mean, but I think that's honestly our best course of action, to at least survey what this thing is and possibly try to gain more information any opportunity we can. It's
Well,
not the
that's
most
more than just surveying. If we agree to this, we are promising to put ourselves in their service to ensure that it is delivered. We can't just up and change our mind halfway through. If we learn something, we are defaming ourselves and our service and our lady if at some point we decide, oh no, you shouldn't have this bad thing.
Yeah, but again, I do believe that it will be delivered regardless. And if it's as bad as we've believed it to be, it's going to be delivered into someone's hands. I'd rather know where it is, and if it becomes a threat, then we can pursue the option to eliminate it if we can, rather than just turn a blind eye, not know where it is, and if it is something dangerous like a weapon, we don't know where it's coming from.
I do agree.
I don't trust those folks as far as I can throw them, and well, that's not very far.
That doesn't matter. We will be traveling with them.
Well, another thought too is we may learn whatever it is that they have, and then that's information we can use to bargain with the King of Silverhearth too. So it is information if we go. So either way, whatever y'all folks want to do, and as long as we've got the lady's blessing, it's fine.
I say we go under the auspices of cooperation while working under the lady's directives.
To that end, I again leave it in your capable hands. If this is something that you feel that you are able to do as a group, and it is something you wish to see done, hell or high water, then I will, of course, allow you all to make that decision as you are the informed party in this matter. I would just see that, at least hope, that it'd be worth your time, more than just this sum of gold that they're offering, this, well, levied cost, to say the least, that they are putting does reek of desperation. To this end, I will, of course, in your veterancy under my house and my banner, there has been little other than small juvenile issues that your group has ever had, so I have no reason to doubt you and your ability of this. You do bring up a good point, however, that the King of Silverhearth would be rather interested, depending if you can find out the exact nature of this item, and if it is something to be proven as a danger, then we would be able to have a seat at both tables, so to speak. If this is the case, I can have my, well, I believe the artificer here on the estate would be more than able to create some type of way to be in touch and communicate to me. It might be a bit rushed and might not be a permanent fix, but at the very least to get a message to me whether or not we need to entertain and dine competitors to the throne of the King under the Wilds. I think we have a bit of a consensus here, though, but I want to be sure. If this is something you all are interested in doing, why don't we hear the ayes versus nays? So, for the ayes, if you are interested in, well, placating the needs of these northern excursionists, say aye.
Aye.
I already bought a coat.
Aye.
All right, well, the ayes have it at 4-2. I do apologize, Mr. Judd and Honeycutt, but I can assume...
I said aye.
Oh, I didn't hear you. My apologies.
Sorry.
Such
Sorry,
a
my
soft
mic cut
voice. But I can assume you both to be consummate professionals, and should you have any true issues when you return, I would hope at the very least you inform me of this, and I, as always, will take care of you, my chosen. She looks to your group, and she seems to have a bit more of a seriousness to her. And she goes, I think from our discussions here, I have become enlightened to a number of issues, fears, challenges, and things of that nature that are distressing, to say the least. To this end, I very much want you to use your best judgment here. My name carries with it some weight here in Direwood, and of course among noble families. As a member of the ruling class of Direwood, Of course, I would hope that you do things in my honor and in my name. That being said, on this journey, I want you to use your discretion, your insight, and your well-informed ideas and intelligence along this path. If this item appears to be something that you believe other individuals should not be in possession of, and if those individuals especially cannot be trusted or a danger of the world at large, I leave it in your capable hands to make that determination. I will support you, my chosen, in what you decide to do, but do your absolute best to come to a determination as a group and of unity. I have not formally assigned a captain for this group, but regardless, you have all had a voiced opinion, and I don't see it necessary at this time, but that be something for internal politics to decide among your group. It is not up to me to tell you how to do your jobs, just that you do them, and do them well, as you have proven time and again. Simple tasks, but now we have something much more complicated. I will prepare a method of communication between yourself and me. I will speak at this morning and have something whipped up in a jiffy. But I want you to take this morning and decide this for yourselves. When you do arrive back in Grim Village, do your utmost to discover these individuals, their motivations, who they work for, and truly information that you can weaponize if need be. The device that I will present to you to communicate with me should only be used in an emergency or when you have something truly remarkable to say. I cannot guarantee that it'll be multiple uses available, but it should be guaranteed for at least one use. I have seen such things in the past. To this end, I very much hope, or rather believe, that I'm putting good faith in you as chosen. Do not let them discover that we are in communication, even though you know and they know that you are working in my name. I think information at this is going to be more valuable than we can see from the onset. And again, if in your judgment you determine they are unfit suitors for this item, communicate that to me. We will entreat a representative from Silverhearth, and we will leave it to the larger politics at hand to decide. That way we might benefit from both sides. Are there any objections or questions from what my expectations are of you?
Ma'am?
No, my lady.
None, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Very well then. My darling, beautiful Weaver's chosen. I will prepare a wagon this time. I think your feet could use a bit of relaxation. Unless, of course, I have heard word that you arrived via a barge of some sort. Is that right?
We did, but it's unlikely that they'd be interested in returning north.
Well, there are a number of people that can be interested, and if the rumors are to be believed for this Trenton Quas, I do think I know the exact amount of persuasion that would be required in this instance. There's already, messages arriving from the north about a number of unfortunate incidents, and I can piece well enough together to assume I know the brunt of his, we'll say we at least know the carrot that'll motivate this ass. I'll leave it to your discussion. Take, we'll say, the next 3 hours of this morning to decide, and I will reconvene with you here once you are ready. After that time, I want you to decide whether or not you want to, or rather have me, commission and take under consideration this barge, or if we need to procure horses and a formal wagon. Come up with what you might need within reason, and I will see to it at once. You have my blessing, my chosen, and with that, I will take my leave.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you, my lady.
Ma'am.
May you find the path to ascension, my chosen. And she gives almost a formal curtsy, which is probably more of a nicety than she's ever likely done for many of your other tasks, you can see that there is definitely a seriousness to your decision. And she exits the room to leave you all to discuss. So in that same vein, I'm going to grab some water. You guys decide if there's anything you want to discuss, as far as for decisions to make, provisions you might need, or any options or things you want to reach out to the lady to provide. So I'll leave you to it. Good luck.
I believe we should gather a wagon and horses. It will serve us well on the road even beyond the trip to Direwood, and we could carry with us more resources through the colds of winters that are starting.
That's probably a good idea, honestly.
I agree.
Did we
Mhm.
want to tell her about our ghoul friends and the fact that they said they were from Artnum and
We
Yeah.
mentioned it lightly, but she was more focused on the fact that she had her item so much as what had stood in our way.
that's right.
I was gonna mention it, but she definitely doesn't like me talking about stuff too much, so
You
Just
just need to
shut up.
condense your stories a little bit, Colt.
I can't help it if there's a lot of details to a badger man, naked badger man, and 300 snakes, mad cows, the fire avalanche.
25% less. 25%. Just
Like, I can't condense these details. They're very necessary to the story.
I'm going to
I'm trying to tell.
hire someone to act as a story editor for you.
Oh, well.
Either way,
Cecil.
does anyone else have an opinion on what we should be discussing, which is the wagon or the ship?
Wagon, I think, would be a better option. As you said, it might be harder to go north with a ship.
Nah, he's got that magic ring. We can make it. That said, she said we want to get as much information as possible, and
Sorry.
the best way I think to do that, not to be racist, but especially with dwarves, is over a drink. So either I gotta go on a booze run, or we ask her for some top shelf stuff.
I think that's an
we
excellent idea.
We can break bread with them over that and maybe get a little bit more out of them.
Something to consider also. I mean, Trenton Quas is he's a pretty decent guy. I mean, for the most part, despite us leaving him with that very clearly a ghoul person.
Not a ghoul, no way.
Anyway, if
Such
the lady...
a capable worker. Twice the strength of a normal man. Doesn't need to rest. Did him a mint.
Anyway, if the lady were to pay off his debts and he does make it in town, that could be another connection to us, and I'm sure that he may have information in the future. I mean, that would benefit us in some way, I'm sure. I mean, just building up more connections since we're kind of venturing out for the first time, you know, since grocery shopping.
I don't disagree, but he's only going to be able to take us as far as Grim Village.
Yeah, but that's where we're supposed
Well,
to
then
meet
we'll
him
have to
anyway.
purchase a wagon there if we want to have the niceties of such for the travel with our companions.
Well, I mean, they could probably pay for one. I mean, if they're willing to pay so much for us to travel with them and, you know, protect them, I'm sure that they're willing to afford getting us a carriage. It could be a stipulation of ours. I mean, I don't know. That's just my
Provided
thoughts.
they could potentially put some magics on it to spy on
Well,
us.
here's back to Quas real quick. If we get him back up to Grim Village and back in business and rocket and rolling, a lot of information flows through him. A lot. And having that in our back pocket probably isn't too bad.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the map, guys. And what if we convince our new friends to travel by boat too? Because it looks like the rivers run up through Thunder Bay, and you can skirt along that right side, and then there's another river that runs up to where we suppose that we're going. So, what if it could be another option? It might be an option that they don't even know that they have.
So you're saying we take the river from Grim Village back out a little west, north up to Thunder Bay, and then skirt that along the southeast to east coast, and take that river uphill to Iskander?
If that's where we're indeed going, yeah.
I mean, we'd have to confirm that with Trenton Quas, though. I mean, he may not want to travel that far. That's a pretty far trip.
He's
That's,
alive thanks to us, and the lady will take care of all of his debts. I assure you, he will be easily convinced.
Yeah. But we also have to take into account that they may not want to travel by boat. Maybe they have their reasons, but it's very possible they may not want to.
That is fair.
However, I think that's a good idea. I mean, it would keep us off the road, and those sun-staring witch ladies probably can't swim too good.
If something wants to reach us, it will reach us if we're in the water or if we're on the road. But the water may make it a bit more difficult for them.
Didn't somebody saw the Ookie Spookies following us when we were boating down?
We saw eyes. We didn't confirm what it was, though.
Yeah. There
So we
were
don't know if it
Ookie
was those
Spookies.
same folks. Is Iskander, is that what would be our final destination?
That is the current assumption, yeah.
Okay.
The inclination, both from what you've seen of these people, as well as what the lady has alluded to, is that the far journey north, if you look at it, there's only two destinations that they could probably be going for, which would be Iskandar, or they'd go even further north, and that'd be for the Barzolan colony, which is far, far to the north.
Now, where was the other king oriented that she was talking about?
That is
Silverhearth.
Silverhearth, which is here to the south. So if you leave through Direwood, you pass through the mountain pass through Fort Ebony, and you continue further south around the Lake of Four Rivers, you will arrive in Silverhearth, which is this capital down here. Now, the king who is in Silverhearth, for those of you who are history majors, is the king of Ravan. So the entirety of, we zoom out, the entirety of this big patch of land, before you actually reach into the steam fields and further down still, that's this individual's domain. The farther north, the king under the wilds is the ruler of Orskath, which is the northern section of the world. There is currently no ruling faction over what is left of Artnan. That is very much a dead zone for many, and where many a great war was once waged. And then you have further, more still south, for Valtora, which is more of a desert land ruled by a number of trade princes. And then you have Aurelia,
Home.
which is home to many of our elven individuals and fey creatures. So yeah, the city of Direwood. Many of you who are trained in history, or rather, even insight for some people, many of you know that Direwood itself is effectively a neutral city. It is a city that does not swear a particular allegiance to king or country. The city itself is ruled on by the noble families who both fund, provide, and oversee the activities of those who have the calling to become Weavers Chosen. Being that it is in such close proximity to one of the mass events of the last wake, being the war and fall of Artnum, you all are, again, under not so much supervision, but under the allowance of a peaceful treaty between the ruling king of Silverhearth and the ruling king under the wilds for Iskander.
Well, if our benefactors could be convinced to go by ship, how icy do the rivers get? That's a concern. Is it even an option that far north?
Is the river even deep enough to take a boat?
That is fair.
DM,
Yes.
I have a proficiency with cartographer's tools, but how many days would this take by boat?
Okay. You know that the destination from Direwood to Grim Village is inside of about 8 hours, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, it's easy enough to map out that if you were to go by boat, the journey itself, by cart, you're looking at over a week or more. By boat, you're looking inside of about 2 to 3 days. It would significantly cut, provided that the rivers can be utilized to go straight towards the mountain. It would significantly cut your travel time down by using a ferry. And that's a bit of a thing to note as well, is that Trenton Quas's vessel is not a formal boat. If it goes out into ocean water, that thing is not going to do well against big waves. But when it comes to small rivers, it's a light enough craft that it can traverse these rather inlet bays and rivers. It is a larger vessel for what it is in that same classification, but it is still considered rather small. Like any regular naval vessel would almost capsize this boat if it was on the open waters. A good example is if you've ever played Civilization, what the first boats you get can't leave the shoreline. It's kind of the same kind of craft and vessel that he's using. It can't go into deep ocean water without having a rough time of it. Oh god, we're already up to 2,000 for this community goal? I should have set this points way higher.
I mean, half of that is us.
But no, the biggest one
a few
was
other people.
Where was he? Ted dropped like 500 right at the beginning. He's an MVP.
I'm saving mine up.
Or she. I don't know. Sorry. It's gendered. I shouldn't say that. Te is amazing. There we go. They, them. What's up?
Yeah, Skell's got a good point value in there too. Anyways.
Yeah. Good people. So
My players.
For you all to decide. Anything else you guys want to address? Things you think you should or shouldn't do? Once you guys come to a consensus about things, let me know, and we'll progress.
Which one do we want to do? Like, honestly, I think both are very viable options.
I'm all for being on a boat. GM's already
Colt?
drowned me once. Like, it ain't gonna happen again.
You drowned on
I'll do
land.
my
You did drown on land, so in fairness.
I did.
Colt, are you going to be able to get along with Fortune?
I suppose. As long as he takes his curse off of me.
It's a fair trade.
I'm sure if you make friends with him, he'd agree to do that.
I forgot the last time. I was just so mad at seeing him, I didn't even think about it. But then I remembered as soon as we got here.
Alright, I'm
I've been
going to
meaning
stop
to
this
go
before it
back.
gets into further of a story. Bucky, what are you feeling?
I say if we take the boat, we need to have some backup plans as far as getting mounts or whatnot.
Well, but they were able to store horses in the hold before. We don't know how much between us and our benefactors they'll need to take up. We don't know what their whole travel load would be by cart or by ship. We may be able to procure some extra horses to keep on there, but we need to make sure that they're alive then. That's a good idea, though.
I mean, I think we only need one horse because, I mean, if you crash, you're not going to have enough horses for everybody. You send one person on a horse to go and come back with whatever you need.
Might have to rush ahead
Mhm.
to Iskander, then most likely be the closest place. Unless we crash closer to Grim. That's a terrible idea. Yeah, that's true. JJ?
I'm fine with either choice. I was just bringing up another option, but the idea of crashing or anything poor happening on a boat is a little concerning.
Yes, I'm not quite powerful to know how to allow us all to water breathing yet. Can take care of it for myself, though. Morgan?
I think I'm down with either. I don't really have a preference. It would be easier with a wagon if we're taking any supplies to just get straight there instead of taking the boat up there and then unloading anything, but either way, whatever gets us there.
You know, I didn't think about how many people they might have as well. And if
And-
we'll all fit on that boat.
And on top of
There
that,
was like
Lamont's
15 bodies on that boat.
Lamont's gonna probably carry his butter and meat and stuff as a ruse. It's like, oh yeah, I'm still just carrying butter and meat. We all know you're not, sir. Stop. But anyway,
Hey, look, it's
Technically, he was carrying butters and meats.
yeah, but that wasn't the point. It didn't matter. It was irrelevant. I don't know why I struggled with that word. Irrelevant. Anyway.
Nuclear.
Nuclear bombs.
And, alright then. Sounds like most everyone's fine with either way. Few people more adamant about ship. Personally, I'm fine either way. I might lean a bit more towards going by cart.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards cart now that I really think about it. I mean, it's not a bad idea to go by riverboat just because of the. I don't know. I want to say that we should try to go.
I will bring up one other thing that I just thought of. If we return to Grim Village without Mr. Quoss, your friend will probably want to talk to us for a little while.
Oh yeah, the warden's gonna be pissed, especially since I set that fire.
I paid the tax on that.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right. But she's
we
still
should be
gonna
okay.
pissed. She's still gonna be pissed. I know her too well, and she's gonna be pissed.
I didn't watch
So
enough
that is another
before
reason to consider bringing Crit and Quoss.
last week.
Yeah,
Couldn't
we
you just
got it.
like blame it on me?
Nope, she ain't gonna believe that. She's gonna know it's me.
She may put all of the goblinoids in our group to death. Or at least imprisonment.
Alright, I'm just gonna wear the pillowcase then. Not a goblinoid anymore. Don't worry about me, ma'am.
I'm part pillow on my mother's side.
I'm just a gnome. I don't know. A
Fair
gnome.
enough. Bucky, what do you have to say, my friend?
You know, I think a cart might be the safer option, but the boat would be
Damn
quicker.
Sue!
So
There you go. There you go, Kareem.
Oh, them Sue. Go ahead, Bucky.
you know, either way is fine. I think the cart would probably be safer.
Okay. And JJ?
I'm leaning a little more towards cart. Just a smidge.
It's up to you guys. Orville will tell you the cart will take much longer as a journey. then the boat will. But that is your guys' decision as chosen. What is best for what you all believe will be most beneficial to you.
More time gives us more time to learn what we may want to as well. Suss out the truths.
Yeah, I'm voting boat.
Boat. Okay. Colts
Voting
Colts
boat.
flip flopping.
Well, the warden. Yeah, I'm voting boat. Orville brought up, I'm sorry, I forgot who
Vel.
brought it up. Vel brought it up. Yeah, yeah, that was a good point. The warden's gonna be mad. But again, I do think it's very beneficial to bring Trenton Quast just because he could be a source of information for us in the future. And I think that that's an opportunity we shouldn't overlook.
Now, Cole, when
Yeah.
you say the warden's gonna be mad, every time we've seen her, she's been mad. So, like, how mad are we talking?
Well, she's got resting orc face, so she doesn't really she don't really convey her emotions too well. But she's gonna be way madder than she's been in the past. She said no fires, and I lit a fire.
Can I ask a personal question, Mr. Honeycutt?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you and her have relations?
No, that is a very personal question.
Insight.
We did not have relations.
Can I insight?
I did not have relations with that woman.
Hours away from election day. This is what we're doing. It's that's the real issue on the ballot, folks. Is did Honeycutt have a scandal? I don't typically allow.
Impeach him.
I don't allow
Player
ability
verify,
checks
yeah.
against players. I don't believe in PvP in that sense. If you guys want to duel each other, that's fine, sure. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I will say, as your group is trained in insight, if you guys really want to be like, I insight check you, no dice roll, just the person. If you're lying, you decide whether or not you think they'd be able to suss out or whatever. Just give a general vibe of it if you want to. That'd be helpful. But you don't have to be helpful at all. You just be like, nah, F you. I'm a master of deceit when it comes to my relations with orcish women.
But all right. So I do have an idea. Hear me out. We take Mr. Quas's vessel up there. We tell them we're going on the trip with y'all. And just in case y'all are open to the option, we do have access to a boat, perhaps. And then we let them decide, since we're all kind of either way. And if they want to take carts, then they can buy us a cart.
That sounds good to me. I mean, I'm down with that idea.
Sure, why
Yes, I
not?
agree with that as well.
Yeah, it sounds good enough to me.
All right. Is there anything as far as provisions you guys want to put together a list for, or things that you might need before setting out? Or is there anything you want to do before meeting back with the lady?
I would like to either ask the lady or myself go and procure some really nice alcohol, because I feel like that's the best way to get information from a dwarf.
Would certainly help.
Yes, we need it for the dwarves.
Yeah, the dwarves.
And I need to procure some more tobacco.
Dwarven diplomacy.
Yeah, Satyr and Goblin are looking a little sus on this one, but more tobacco's easy for you, Colt. As many of you discovered throughout the week, the Gulanti estate does. Oh wait, I'm so excited. Hold on, I forgot I could do a thing. Oh, I didn't. I can. Okay. Add source. There we go. New source. Town. I really need to put it in Fantasy Grounds so I can manipulate it easier than on here, but as certain people say, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. There we go. Bam. Whoa, what happened? Whoa, oh,
Green
that's way
screen.
too big. I didn't realize the resolution on this thing was that massive. This is why you always use Fantasy Grounds, because it downscales everything. Oop.
Oop.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yahoo! There we go. So, that's going to block me. Yeah, I should have just did Fantasy Grounds. Yeah, you can't even read that on stream. That's nothing. Sorry, folks. I'll do it this week, and I will get it all together. Anyway, the various districts will... Yes. The various districts that are made up within Direwood are part and parcel owned by members of nobility, upper class, and the city itself. You all know that there's a general store that is used for family members and those who are under the patronage of the Lady Tristina. Easily enough, you can go there and probably pick up hundreds of cans of dip for less than a gold. The quality of the things you chew, I shudder to think in real world terms. Copenhagen be damned.
Well, I was gonna say I do have my specific little can that I get, and it's from the south. I mean, we
That's
decided
true.
that, so it's a little pricier than regular. Not super expensive.
No, in the sense of like, oh man, it's like a silver instead of 2 coppers. It's rather pricey. It's mostly import fees at that point. Not to speak of like magical quality of tobacco. It's no Gandalf pipeweed, but it'll get you going.
It's my Dapper Dan's.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's up to you guys. So Colt, you can easily, if you want to mark off a number of silver equal to the number of cans you want, you can definitely do that. They're light enough that I'm not going to worry about. Holy God, 2 gold worth of cans of dip. The man will never go hungry again.
Bill Orville's pillow.
I just need 10 cans.
10 cans, a gold coin. See, that's why I have to cut back on smoking, kids. See that? Easily enough. Bucky and Orville, do you want to ask the lady to procure alcohol for your journey, or do you want to attempt to do that yourselves?
I'll attempt to do it myself.
Okay, where do you want to go?
That's a good question. All
It is,
the
isn't it?
bars I visit are kind of seedy.
You ain't wrong.
Phil, where's a fancy place to get alcohol around here?
Would I know if the restaurant that I
place.
went to sells bottles, or would I?
You know that it's upscale enough that it would sell bottles.
Okay, yeah. The Durant's is a rather fine dining establishment, but I believe there's one other place that's even more so. But that may be a bit too rich.
Could we say that JJ has some stores in her room
Some stores in her room?
from her parents' distillery?
Kegs.
Oh, yeah, no, you...
Just like some jars.
I would hope you've got like moonshine on the windowsill kind of stuff. That would just make sense. I mean, and that's the other thing too, is like you're not that far removed from it either. Like you all could very much head outside of the city of Direwood to the Lightning Farms and go get your fill.
I think we have seasonals. If that's something y'all want to do.
JJ,
That
did you make
sounds good.
sangria in the turlet?
It's much more fancy than that, I promise.
Turlet.
In the turlet. But yeah, if you'd want, you could do that. You could reach out to JJ's parents to supply or otherwise sell however much you're looking to procure as a cargo or carry-on for your journey ahead, and that can be done before you reconvene with the lady if you'd like.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
When we come back, we'll pick up from where we left off, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys there. See you in a bit. Take care.
Philippe cult dead.
What? Oh, the video didn't come through. Bam! There we go. Fixed it all. All right, welcome back, guys. So I think I can turn this off now. Bam. Much quieter, but that's all right. All right, so welcome back, everyone. I think make sure I can do this. Colt's webcam goes really dark sometimes. It's weird. All right, so welcome back, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the break. When we last left, we were discussing provisions for the road ahead, options for travel, and a number of things here. Thank you guys, as always, for sticking with us and continuing to watch. We hope we're entertaining. To that end, before we jump right back into it, just a reminder, we now have channel points. We are an affiliate channel, so you can earn points for watching us. We're going to try to have points impact the game a little bit in like nice ways instead of like, I don't know, something ridiculous. You know, we don't want to have it be too ridiculous, but we'll keep adding options. We currently have a contribution goal, which will change the amount of gold received by the party every time they complete a quest. So that's kind of awesome. And then we have a number of different options that you'll be able to roll out soon. Not soon, they're pretty pricey, but just things like that. If you have a suggestion for that, feel free to post it in chat. Someone will probably see it, and we'll go from there. As we continue to roll out as well, tonight we're having some crazy internet issues here. So just bear with us. If the video or audio is like janky, let us know, but most likely you're gonna have to deal with lower quality video for the evening. So sorry. The audio should be fine, hopefully, fingers crossed. But we are recording it, so it will go up on YouTube this week. So if you want to rewatch it with better quality video, there we are, you know. But bringing us back in from break, the group was discussing provisions for the road and how to more or less get things off the ground and running for their quest they're looking to accept from their previous employer from the beginning of our tale from Mr. Lamont. And to that end, that is where we're at. What do you guys... So we were on the discussion before we took a quick break regarding bringing alcohol under the suspicion that these individuals are of dwarven heritage, and that would probably be the best way to put that in your pocket. JJ brought up the idea of commissioning, or rather beseeching her family, as they do run a bit of a whiskey farm, so to speak, and they'd be able to get moonshine and other such alcoholic beverages that are handcrafted and homemade. But that is up to you guys. If it's something you want to do, let me know, and whenever you guys are ready, we can advance past.
One thing Bucky would like to do is make his rapier into his hex weapon.
You do it.
All right.
The moment I had pizza in my mouth, I was like, ooh. What was that?
I was asking if I was going to be the runner for the farm to go get the booze.
I mean, I'll go with you. It'd be kind of rude if I didn't go.
That's fair.
Hi, Mama Lightning and Papa Lightning. Your daughter wants booze. Just show up. Yeah, it's up to you guys. You can visit the farmland yourself, or however you want to go about that. That's up to you.
I'm down to go.
Yeah, JJ will lead the way.
I'll follow.
Yeah. All right. Wonder if I can do this here. I think that's probably going to be the best bet for it. Give me 1 second here. So, you guys will egress from the estate itself. You'll move about and head out towards the farmland for JJ's family. Easy enough. You guys take the main road out. You follow JJ implicitly, as there is no reason to doubt that she doesn't know where her family would be. And overall, you guys travel for a little under an hour or so outside of the city before you arrive at the farm stand. Several acres line this area of rather, we'll say, homely individuals that own and operate the various farmlands and base growth outside of the city of Direwood, keeping much to themselves. But you all soon arrive at the edge of the owned property. And anything you want to discuss before heading onto the property proper, let me know.
We need to make this fast. 1 cup of sweet tea, and that's it. Don't get stuck.
So, no recanting cult stories. Got it.
No, sir.
Everyone stares at Colt, says, no stories today, sir. No stories today.
See, there was this one time.
Oh, God, here we go again.
Or you know what? Maybe we should have Colt just keep my mother busy with a story. But JJ's gonna go up, knock on the door.
Walk up like you own the place?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do this. All right. So easily enough, you wrap your hand against the door. You hear, just a second. Now hold on. You hear a clicking of the lock of it. The door swings open. You go, welcome y'all to... Oh, well, hello there. JJ, you didn't tell me you was bringing company here today. You see a woman a bit taller than JJ herself, not by much, with a already grown in kind of winter coat for some of the fur trappings that exist for her shifter heritage. Tall ears that kind of stand on end, and she very much has a warm, welcoming smile towards JJ. Let's see here.
I honestly wasn't quite expecting coming by today, but we figured we might as well come by because we're going to be gone for a hot while.
Oh, well, goodness, you've been gone a hot while as it is. I was telling your father just the other day that we didn't get nearly enough visitation from you and your friends. You're going off on all these wanton, well, jackrabbit adventures, and you haven't bothered to hop on by and visit us.
Well, the lady keeps us busy, Mama.
Well, you know what? I think I need to go in there, have myself a word with this lady of yours. Clearly, she's working you to the bone. I don't even see an ounce of fat on your frame. Now, how are you supposed to find a nice man if you're going driving yourself this skinny?
Mama, could we come in?
Oh, fine. I do apologize for keeping y'all here on the stoop. Come on in. I'll go ahead and put a thing of tea on. And she moves out of the way. She kind of moves with a bit of swiftness to her. I think I have... Yeah, loaded. There we go. She makes way further into the kitchen of the farmhouse itself, while... a humble family and very much various trappings of the farmland. It does have kind of a larger sense of scale to it. While not like the most well-to-do family that exists outside of Direwood, the Lightning family itself does well enough for its own. The JJ's mother welcomes you all into her kitchen, puts on a pot, and begins to crush up and break a number of leaves into the bottom of the pot before adding water to begin to set to boil. She starts busying herself by pulling out a small kind of clay tray and a number of cups, and she kind of turns as she starts getting things together with a soft hum. You guys find a large table in the kitchen that is for kind of sitting company. You note that there is a formal dining room, but as she welcomes you into the kitchen, there are just a number of tables around a number of chairs around a larger table that seems to be for more treating guests and visitors, to say the least. Ashley, you continues crushing this up. She goes, "Now, JJ, you just miss your father moving out here. As we weren't expecting you or nothing. Do tell, what is the reason for the visit? Not that you don't just love to see our faces."
Well, we are heading on a long journey this time with some northern folk, and my compatriot here, Mr. Orville, figured it would be good to break bread, so to speak, with some alcohol, and I suggested, well, there's no finer brews and whatnot than the good old lightning shine.
Well, of that you have no doubt, but I must say, darling, I don't know for what we might be welcoming this individual into the homestead. Now, I don't want to be, well, rude, but bless his heart, he is what he is, darling.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, Mr.
Should
Orville...
I see myself out, ma'am?
No, you are more than welcome here, and I do apologize for my rudeness. It is just we've had a number of issues in the past concerning a bit of the goblin kind getting a little too deep in their cups. Now, especially if you're going to be on the road with my baby, I do certainly hope that you can keep your hands to yourself and be a consummate gentleman.
I can be a consummate gentleman, ma'am, yes.
Well, all right, then I'll hold you to it on your word. But I swear to you, as long as the hair on my head, if you so much as make a forward and advance at my JJ, ooh, you will think that your Lady Gulanti, she won't be able to protect you none at all. She'll be nothing but a piece of paper I'll rip in half to get to you, boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, great. I'm glad we're so clear on that then. Oh, Tia will be up in just a second, JJ. Who are your other friends? They all seem nice.
JJ, am I supposed to distract your mom right now with my stories? I really feel like telling the story right now.
This is there's Bucky, there's Miss Vel, there's Miss Morgan, and this mama is Mr. Honeycutt. Yeah. But what were you saying, Cole? What you had something to say?
All right. Out of character, do you guys really want me to like tell a story? I have these written down, but like I will go off and I'll tell these stories. I just don't want to take over the session.
Colt,
You can.
do it.
Please,
Do it!
please do.
Please.
Please.
Well, first, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go over and, try to shake her hand or give her a kiss in the hand or whatever.
Yeah, she'll do the southern tip.
Yeah.
The...
Well, I'm very enchanted to meet you, miss. I am Colt Honeycutt, and I don't necessarily take care of the group. They can all handle themselves, especially your daughter. But I try to do my best to protect them and make sure that they're all right. I'm real good at swinging things.
Sure.
So yeah, there was this, and a good example of that was the time that we was up on these hills, right? So it was in the western region. Me and my company. I used to be a soldier. So yeah, we was up in these hills, and it was my buddy Chuck's birthday. Jimmy had just lost his legs from 300 snakes, and Jimmy was doing all right, but he really needed it more than Chuck. We needed to have some sort of celebration because Jimmy was feeling real down, being a soldier, no legs. We had to, carry him like a backpack all the time, and that really gets to a soldier when you got to do that. So yeah, we had this birthday party on this hill. It was a special spot. Sun was shining. It was beautiful out, and we was just sitting there minding our own business, and all of a sudden we just see this giant fire avalanche, and it's rushing towards us. The captain said, "What? Well, we got to get out of here." And then Jimmy said, "No, I swear to you, I can stop it." Jimmy was convinced he could stop this thing. He said, "I know I'm a wizard deep down inside, and I know I can stop this fire avalanche." Needless to say, Jimmy died that day, but I mean, we got away, and Jimmy did try his hardest to stop that avalanche. And we were real close to believing he could stop it. We did have to run because he definitely got burned alive immediately. Not sure what the source of the avalanche was, and Chuck didn't have a very good birthday, but we did get to have cake, and it was great. That's a little story about me. Yeah.
Well, now that's just, well, bless your heart.
Can I just say something out of character?
Sure.
The photo of her is exactly what I picture someone
the
listening
exact
to his stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she takes it, goes, well, at least your Mr. Chuck had a fantastic time. Don't quite know what to make out of that one. A bit of a long and short, but certainly you had a story to walk away with it, so that's all good here. I'll just reiterate, if you don't mind, point of fact. If you ever leave my JJ to burn onto a fire mountain, I will find you and hunt you down, Mr. Honeycutt.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, she ain't the wizard. I'm sorry, miss. I mean, but if she's convinced that she can do wizard stuff, I know she does all her magic things with her.
I'll tell you right now, if she starts speaking out the mouth like she's some type of wizard, a highfalutin type, you grab her up by the top of her ears and you drag her away from that fire mountain, Mr. Honeycutt.
All right, I will. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You have my word.
Well,
Scout's
so long as
honor.
I have your word. Oh, and you're a scout too? Okay, well, you better make sure you use all your scouting things, and you make sure that you protect my little JJ, okay?
I will. If there's a fire, 300 snakes, fire, mole people, mad cows, any of those things that I've run into in my travels, like, I promise you, she will be protected from them.
Mama, could you use some help with the tea?
Oh, it's almost done. It's no trouble at all. Don't worry yourself about it, darling. Now, thank you, Mr. Honeycutt, and let's be aware of that. If any of those horrible things you've come across attempt to assault my little darling here, you're going to have to pull your shovel out and dig your way to her to save her, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And she keeps her eyes on you and moves back towards the tea. The tea starts to kind of whistle out of the pot, and she pours a cup for everybody, and she goes over and puts a little bit of fresh honey, just a scoop of it, and kind of mixes it on the end of a spoon and leaves the spoon in the tea itself. She passes it out to everyone here. He has her provided fresh tea, and she goes, well, now that tea is up, and I have a couple of small things here I prepared, and she has some fresh morning baked biscuits that she sets on the table. She goes, you're more than welcome to help yourselves. But JJ, certainly now, you were mentioning something about you and this Mr. Orville wanting to get a little bit of order here. Your father now, Daddy, he went off and already brought a bunch into town of Direwood this morning, but we do have a number of small batch that we might be able to still provide to you, but we'd be awfully cross. We'd be putting ourselves out if we went a bit too far on the family side of things. How much might you be needing?
I'm happy to pay, Mama. Don't worry.
Oh, bless your heart, but you don't have to pay none. You know that. I just need to make sure that we're going to be okay.
You'll be okay. I don't know how long are we going to be on this trip? Orville, did you say how long this trip is going to be?
Could be a week, could be 2 weeks.
Could be years. Enough for years.
I don't think
Bucky,
we need enough for years.
She'll turn and look at Bucky, and she's like, "You gonna take my little baby outside of the city for years?"
Well, you never know.
Oh, no, I better know. Now you straighten
Well, I
yourself
don't-
out, young man.
Mama, he was just playing. So maybe enough for a few nights, or what, for fancy northern folk.
Oh, it's for fancy northern folk? Oh, goodness
Yes.
gracious. Okay, well, we can get the vintage. We have a batch set aside that we've been aging. It might be better for that. If you're treating guests from the north and all their fancy long-haired having. Anyway,
Amen.
neither here nor there. I can get something together for you, my darling daughter. Why don't you all wait here? I'll get together a barrel or so. Do you have a way to transport it back from where you get like a cart or something that you brought with me?
Oh, well,
No, it's quite fine. That's easy enough to handle.
Okay, well,
yeah,
fair enough. They always say that you elven lasses have your ways, so I will. I'll just believe you on that one. It won't be but a few minutes here. I'll have it brought about out front. Henry will be more than happy to oblige.
I'll go out front and start performing the ritual for Tensor's floating disc then.
out of character. Who's Henry?
Henry's a farmhand. He's employed by your family, and he is what's the nice way to say it? The nice way to say it is that he is of ogre descent. The not nice way to say it is he's a very simple boy.
Thank you.
Of course.
Nah, JJ. What? I know your family is doing the whole family thing, but what's barrel this stuff normally go for? I would
DM, please.
I mean, don't DM please me that. How exquisite is your family's moonshine? You tell me.
I would expect it to be nice, but it's still moonshine.
The fanciest swill is 2 copper.
Dos Copperitos. Yeah, I mean it's that's the thing is like you got like even market price is like, I mean on moonshine because it takes so long the way it's made specifically is the danger of it for when it's the most volatile. You guys would know that like a general like a whole bottle of it of hooch would probably go for about 5 copper to a silver somewhere there. If it's like upper like the single batch stuff you can find at like modern day grocery stores, that stuff can go up and up and up because it's custom and designer and homemade and all that stuff. So it's up to you. You tell me how expensive you want to make it.
I'm trying to think, because when I buy it, it's like $15 a jar.
Mm-hmm. So in like real world terms, like $15 would be like a handful of coppers, up to again like a silver. Like that's the correlation there. If you want to be like more expensive, then that's totally your prerogative if that's what your family is producing. But I don't tell you your family business. That's your business. It's impolite.
I would say it's fancy stuff, especially the age stuff. Then it's real fancy. Doing some research. We'll take it.
Damn straight it is.
Fancy stuff. Oh, very true.
10 gold for the super fancy stuff, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, so 10 gold is like your
that
top
a
of the
bottle
mark.
or barrel?
That's a barrel.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and set an equal amount of that next to the plate of biscuits after I take one.
Sure. How many barrels are you gonna put? Just the 10 gold for one barrel, or?
JJ will also buy another barrel.
Okay. So you're
I'm
setting.
covering that as well.
Okay, so 20 gold total from Orville.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, easy enough to do. You guys find probably like a spot in the kitchen that JJ would know her mother would check eventually, but not right away. And you kind of tuck the gold in. hidden around. After fiddling with your business, you find that Vel has already created her floating disc, and you can hear kind of heavy footfall from outside. And there we go. Bam. You see this individual kind of walk up with a heavy set of about 2 barrels over each arm. And he kind of walks forward and sets down these 2 heavy barrels. And you kind of look over and he goes, "Hey there, JJ. How are you?"
I'm all right, Henry. How you doing?
"Oh, good, good. I caught a bird."
That's a big boy.
Yeah. He stands at this point about 11 feet tall. He kind of like hunches and leans over a little bit.
What'd you do with your bird, Henry?
I caught it. You want to see?
Sure, Henry.
He reaches into the pouch at his side and he produces the crumpled corpse of a bird. He goes, "Look how pretty." And he kind of like shows it to you, and it's this very much like crunched up bird.
It's beautiful, Henry.
"Oh, yeah.
You did a great job."
Thank you." And he like rubs the top of its head, not fully understanding that he crushed it when he caught it, and like kind of like reaches out to you and goes, "You want a pet?"
Sure, Henry.
"All right, well, you take good care of him." And he puts the bird in your hand, goes, "I get pet for you." He kind of like scratches his side and just immediately he's like out of the conversation. He like forgets where he's at for a moment, just looks around. He goes, "Oh, you have real fun armor. What's that?" He points at Colt. He goes, what is that?"
It's chainmail. You're a very big boy. You eat a lot of corn, I imagine.
"Oh, I love corn, but I also like a lot of other things."
Yeah, like what?
"Well, I'm not supposed to say because it's not supposed to be right, but..." He like moves very close to you, Colt, and so trying to get like out of hearing from JJ because he seems to be curiously afraid that she's gonna like rat him out. He goes, "Sometimes Mr. Lighton, he goes to the market and he gets me these colors, and they're in like these little waxy type things, and they're delicious." And he describes crayons to you that he eats them.
Oh, yes, those are a delicacy.
They're
I
very good.
imagine. They're very delicious. I will have to get some for myself at some point.
Don't let JJ see you eat those. She'd tell everybody on you. You get in trouble.
Yeah, she would do that.
Yeah, she does that. Wow. Oh, cool. Hey, is that a sword? He points to your hip.
Yes, it is.
Can
Yes,
I
it is.
hold it?
It's of sentimental value. I don't let anyone touch it. No offense. I don't like other people touching it.
Okay. Henry, not nobody. He understand.
Yeah. Henry, you're a good guy. I like you, Henry.
Thank you. Henry like you too. Who is you?
I'm Colt. Colt Honeycutt.
Cool. Hi, Colt. JJ! I make new friend. His name's Colt.
I'm proud of you,
Haha.
Henry. Very proud of you.
Yes. He looks at Bucky. He goes, "Bucky, you want to be friend?" Or he wouldn't say Bucky, sorry. He would point at you and he goes, "Dear, want to be friend too?"
Yeah, sure. And then Bucky pulls out his pan flute and starts playing.
Oh, yes. And like just starts like slamming his hands together as loud as he can. In doing this, JJ's mother walks up and she's like, "Henry, are you bothering these folks, JJ's friends?" No. Henry make many friends with everyone. Pretty lady, JJ friend. And he points at Vel and Morgan. He goes, "You Henry friend too, right?"
Sure. Yeah.
And he like has this like very like simple smile, and waits for Velda to confirm whether or not they're friends. Oh, or not.
Oh, we only just met, but I'm sure we're friends.
Oh, see? We all friends. Friends with Henry. And JJ Miller goes, well, that's very good. Now, run along. Go wash your hands up. We might need another barrel soon. And she looks over at JJ and she goes, now, my darling daughter, do you happen to need more than 2? I just assumed it was the easiest to carry for Henry.
I think that'll be fine. Unless they go through these barrels right quick. I can't imagine.
Oh, you want 2 more? I get 2 more.
I think we're okay, right?
I think this is plenty.
Oh, you sure? You look like you drink a lot.
We are drinking with dwarves.
What? He walks really close to Bucky and like in your personal space. He goes, "What's a dwarf?"
It's like a smaller version of you.
The smaller version of Henry? Is his name Henry too?
Might be.
You gotta have Henry meet Henry. I want to meet.
I would love that.
Oh
I
yeah.
would love that, Henry.
Oh, can't wait. Thank you, dear man.
Bucky's just gonna like pat him on the on whatever he can reach, if it's his shoulder or whatever.
It's like upper hip.
Yeah.
Or like side of the forearm. Like, hey, friend. He goes, oh, okay. You find little Henry. Henry, I'll be here. So you bring little Henry to me. Unless little Henry worked for nice people too, then you probably can't bring Henry. Little Henry. Oh. And he just like starts wandering off towards the farmhouse, like deep in contemplative thought how he would get you to bring him to himself, because he's gone. And then, oh, boom, there we go. With that, JJ's, your mother kind of turns to you and goes, oh, bless him. He is doing so well with his lessons, though. But I do believe we're good here. You said that you would only be needing the 2. Is that right?
Yes, Mama. I think that'll be fine. Thank you so much for your help.
Of course. Anything for you. Now, again, I think we can more or less write this off as, disposed. Maybe we just say it spoiled or what have you. So I wouldn't worry a hair's touch about this, okay?
Yes, Mama, of course.
All right. Now, do you all have a way to bring this into town or where you need to get it going? I'd hate for you all to put yourselves out like that. I can call Henry if you want. He could escort you on over into town. You'd have to kind of direct him a little bit. There's a lot to take in the big city.
Yes, ma'am.
I
We would
just
love that.
place my hand on the invisible force surface. Or actually, it's visible. Isn't
Is
it?
it visible? I don't read spells.
I think we're okay. We've got this fancy thing that Miss Vel does, and it can carry all sorts of stuff. Apparently, it's very special.
Well, fair enough then. I'll leave you and your elven friends to it. Certainly, Mr. Colt, Honeycutt, and Mr. Orville, I want you to think about what we discussed here today, and certainly keep your eyes and ears open and keep your noses clean. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I will take my hands, fold them behind my back, lift my chin, and say, "Yes, ma'am."
Now, there's a good boy. All right. Well, might you be needing anything else, my darling daughter?
Mama, I'm gonna take the shovel over to the tree and get rid of this bird that Henry gave to me again.
Oh goodness, I thought he had lost that already. I'm so sorry. If you want, I'll dispose of it this time. He just gets so attached to these things.
I know. All right. She'll just awkwardly hand her
She
the dead bird.
like you can tell this does not faze your mother at all. She's like, oh no, another one. Like these poor creatures. She goes, I'll have you know, we're starting a bit of a cemetery in the backyard, so it's just the way to do it at this point. I don't want to distress him by letting him know what he's done. We usually just say they ran off because they were busy.
Yes, ma'am, a pet cemetery. She's gonna keep a couple of the feathers though.
Okay.
Out of the tail.
Yeah. It's effectively a bluebird.
Okay.
And it's really pretty. It was. For however long it lived.
She'll give her mother a hug. And it was real good seeing you, Ma, and tell Pa that I stopped by, and maybe we'll see him on the way back into town, but don't know how long we'll be gone for this time. So.
Well, you keep yourself safe, and you keep all these other folks safe as well. I know you're doing God's work, honey, so you seem like you're running with a good enough group of individuals, so I'll pray for you as we're wanting. Just do your best and come home safe to us, okay?
Yes, Mom, I'll do my best.
All right, and that's all we can ever ask for you. And she, again, kind of like holds the hug for a little bit longer than would be normal, and then finally lets go. And she turns and sees you guys off as you load the barrels onto the disc and make your way back to town.
Before we leave, I'm gonna go reach for a hug.
Oh, you go reach for a hug for her mother?
Yeah.
Oh, she like reach for a hug. She kind of like looks at you curiously, and she goes, "All right, well, sure." And she's not quite sure how y'all folks do it. And she reaches over and does like the big like social distance hug, like the arms fully extended kind of hug.
Just remind me of my ma.
Oh,
you're a good ma.
I'm so sorry. I didn't. I'm sure your mother is ever so proud of you, Mr. Colt.
I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her in years.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm sure wherever she's at, she's looking at the same moon you do every night, waiting for her son to make some of himself.
That's fucking beautiful.
Oh my goodness. And she kind of she goes, she's doing the thing where like she's like facing Colt, but looking at JJ like, what do I do?
It was good to see you, Mama.
It was great seeing you, dear. Oh my goodness.
She's gonna start trying to drag Colt along.
Take care. Tell Henry that he's my best friend.
The wooden hook enters in and just drags. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to do before leaving the farmstead? No. All right. So easily enough, you guys head back to the Gulanti estate. Takes again just shy of an hour or so by foot. The disc holds up well enough. It's able to carry 2 barrels fairly easily. You all make it back to the estate. Is there anything you want to do before your meeting with the lady? No? All right. No. Okay, cool. So time passes easily enough. The last meedling 30 minutes to an hour passes by. The lady arrives back. And... bam. There we go. And there we go. And way too big, as usual. I wish the scaling would stay on OBS, but I guess that's asking for the moon. Boom. So the lady returns. The large doors of the dining hall open back and open wide for her. She enters in and she has in her hands a folded piece of silk, and wrapped up in it is some type of sphere. She smiles and kind of moves with a bit of noble grace in her step, and she goes, "Well, there you are, my chosen. Certainly, I do understand that there are, well, a number of things you might have discussed, and to that end, I am hopeful that you have reached a consensus."
Yes, ma'am. I think we're gonna see if we can take Mr. Quas's boat up, and then we're gonna let our new benefactors, employers, whatever we want to call them for now, know that there's possibility that they could maybe take a boat up to whatever their final destination is. Or we could go by road. It's up to them.
Very well. Leaving it in their hands is rather democratic of you, to say the least. At the very least, let's see if we can't oil the sails on that boat. I've prepared a small thing here, but let me go ahead here. I will leave this with you. And she kind of puts the silk, the folded silk on the table with this kind of wrapped item. And she goes, that is the object we discussed. Much to what I assumed, it will work for a singular amount of time, roughly about 10 minutes or so. It can be used once, but we will be able to carry out a formal conversation if needed. Don't feel obligated to have a response in the event. Simply let me know if you are not able to speak freely at the moment, as there is a bit of necessity to it. You must be touching it to communicate back and forth. But it would look a little bit awkward if you were muttering to yourself, so.
Will that function for multiple of us speaking to you at once, or just one-on-one?
So long as each of you are touching the stone itself, then yes, you should be fine. I've been made aware of such a universal trinket, so just do bear in mind it only carries with it so much arcanum within it, and it will only work this one instance, should you need to contact me formally.
Of course.
With that, she turns and she goes, and if you might excuse me a moment, I will prepare we'll say let's call it what it is, a bribe for Mr. Trenton to meet our demands to allow us to utilize his ship for such a thing. Just one moment. She exits the room and kind of heads off to a nearby study. A few minutes pass. She returns with a drafted letter with a wax seal bearing the Gulanti family crest. She sets it on the table next to the item, and she goes, "There we are for that. And as well, I've prepared a small donation to him and getting him on his feet once again." And she has like a small kind of leather pouch, almost like a tiny coin purse, and she sets it next to the letter and go, do be sure he gets that so that he understands that we are quite serious in our request.
Yes, ma'am.
Very well.
JJ will take it.
Okay. She looks you all over and she goes, "It sounds as if you have the long and short of it. Certainly, I do hope for the best in your situations. Do keep in mind what we discussed. With this adventuring troop and these individuals, it will be our utmost concern to, well, pass a bit of judgment, to say the least. We will hope that in this scurrying and in this effort that you are handsomely rewarded. I will make no allusions to this. They are offering a tithing, or rather a rewarding sum in the several thousands for your efforts. To that regard, we would do quite well to, well, shore up a number of the coffers here at the estate, as well as be able to finance a number of new expeditions for you and your group. However, again, we are not playing for a singular audience. As we discussed as well, if you do find beyond a reasonable doubt or enough to concern you that these people are unfit for the artifact that they carry, I leave it in your capable hands. Do your best not to leave it in a sense that there would be a formal political issue, but see to it in your own means, if need be. We will, at your discretion, be in touch with the opposed kingdom and king, should we need to discuss such things.
Of course.
Well then, with that being said, I believe it is in your hands, my chosen. Is there anything else that I might be able to assist you with before you set out?
I don't believe so.
Very well then. I will hope that the graces of the weavers themselves and their spirits and heralds of adventure do bless you on this journey, that the guidance and glory of Quessen imparts upon your journey the virtues and teachings that they heralded in the last wake. My chosen, keep your wits about you, and truly honor my house and yourselves in all that you do. I will look forward to your successful return.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, my lady.
Oh, and one point of order. Being that you will be gone for some time, when you do finally arrive back in civilization, if there is a way for you to formally reach out as a check-in, please keep me informed either by letter or what means you have available to you, if at all able. While the stone itself is more of an emergency, being that you will be on the road or perhaps open ocean for some time, if you arrive at a civilized land, please do keep me abreast of the situation so that we might, be made aware of your activities. I don't mind if you accept other things in the meantime or while you are among this company, but I need to at least be able to know where my chosen are, should more pressing concerns require your attention here at the homestead.
Of course.
All right, then. Well, I will look forward to your successful venture, and as well, rather, as always, I should say, should you find anything delightfully interesting, be sure to bring me a copy. And she smiles and kind of gives a soft nod, and she goes, "Have a great day, my chosen, and a merry adventure to you." And she waltzes her way back out of the room proper, the doors closing behind her as she strides.
Well, who wants to carry the orb thingy?
Well, I'm sure you're all going to say it anyway. I clearly am not the one to hold it.
The most experienced of arcane items. If you wish me to take care of it, I shall.
I think that's not a bad idea for Velathil to hold it.
Yeah, I think Vel should take it.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay.
Then I shall carry the communication stone.
And you have a bolt of silk that it's wrapped in and a stone. You can feel it's like a sphere. All right. What do you guys want to do?
Let's get out. Let's get up
Yeah.
to
Let's
the.
go find
the,
Trenton back at the docks.
Yeah.
You mean Trenton? Because it ain't gonna be Trenton. It's gonna be that zombie dude in his skin.
Oh, Trent? Yeah, let's go find Trent.
Yeah.
Take the pouch and the letter.
All right. Pocket the pouch and the letter intended for Trenton. You guys set off towards the docks. Anything you guys need to do at the estate before you leave? No? All right.
Another cast of
Alright.
tensors to bring the booze.
Yes, of course. I'm
Re-ups
nothing
the
more
disc.
than a magical pack mule now, but
Colt's
that's what I
like,
signed up for, I guess.
finally, I don't have to lift shit. This is great. Wizards. Easily enough, you guys traverse throughout the city. I need someone to roll me a d12, if you would, for travel through the city.
12.
12. Ooh, okay, great. And where am I at here? This is the one I need. I need this one and that one. Okay. So, as you all travel and traverse throughout the city of Direwood, you come into view of kind of the main thoroughfare as you head northward towards the docks. You come into view of an individual standing on a collection of soapboxes. They are currently preoccupied with kind of barking at the crowd itself. They're kind of yelling out to that, and you can hear a rather peculiar manner of speaking that this individual holds. And let's see if I can pull it up here. There it is. Okay. And boom. And we got to shorten this up. Almost. God, these pictures are so big. I need to like crop them down ahead of time. It would just save me infinite amount of time. So you hear this individual shouting to the crowd, and you go, "Yes, such magnificent wonders, things beyond your wildest dreams. Trust me, my dear friends, you, today, one and all, could find yourselves in a curious possession of an arcane treasure, a wondrous invention from the great and distant southern cities of Molak Jin. Please, come one, come all, and speak your truce to the land." And you see this individual, who is currently barking to the crowd, this Taxakabi.
Oh, Khajiit has wares.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you guys if
Where
you
is
want to.
Molat Jin?
Far to the south, it is... Ooh, I have to look at my map. It's up to the north of Valtora. It is quite a ways away to the south.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so you see this person continue to kind of bark at the crowd and say, "Come up, come here. Yes, you there. You could do with a number of wondrous things." Up to you guys. If you'd like, you can continue on, or you can approach and see what's all the hubbub.
I'm just gonna approach. Fuck.
All right. You approach.
I approach as well.
I'll approach.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So as you all approach, you see there's a number of people that are like curiously looking over this individual as they stand on a pair of like milk crates. And as you approach, goes, "Ah, a wonderful, beautiful people here. Oh, 6 of you here. Oh my goodness, what beautiful people! But I see with my trained eyes that each of you is befitting. Don't tell me now, the adventuring lifestyle, perhaps even Weaver's chosen."
Nope.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
looks
I'm
like
just
kind of defeated, and then you're like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Oh, see, I
was just
know
kidding,
these things. Yes, the trained eye of the Maximian boys will always find what people are. To this I say to you, could you use a bit more panache, a bit more introduction, a bit more way with the other people around you, yes?"
You know, I'm not much of the flashy type, but I don't know if anyone in the group might want something to be a little shinier or whatever.
Morgan's like, "Nah."
I mean,
Could you just be straight with us, sir? Or what are you selling?
Oh, my deepest apologies. Yes, I'm quite straight. Thank you. I am curious to know if you would be interested in my wares. I bring the finest treasures from Molak Jin, far to the south, the lands and distant sandy beaches. To this end, I have a number of antiquities that I am hoping to relieve myself of unto the interested parties. I will show you, as I have chewed the fat, as they say here in Direwood, far too long. And he reaches into a small trunk next to his like kind of impromptu standing area, and he produces this bright kind of pink and glittering cape. He goes, "This here, gaze upon the pink hazel of Zangarfo. This is a magical garment," and he kind of addresses to the crowd, "that anyone who wears it will find themselves in a most heroic stance, a most heroic and robust being, and all shall look upon you with envy. Today, I sell this for a mere 75 crowns. Do I hear 75?
I think I know what this is. Could I roll Arcana to see if Vel does?
Sure, go ahead and roll Arcana.
Oh, that's an 8.
It's an 8. It's a glittering cape. It's weird looking, man. I don't know. No one will tell you, Vel. You look at it and you're like, it should be
It's
this
a 3
thing.
on every die.
You're like, it should be this thing, but it looks too weird for it. He goes, I can see it. I can see in your eyes. I have many males in the audience. Fear not, my mens. And he takes it and shakes it 3 times. He goes, for at the mere shake of my paw, and it turns from pink to bright, dazzling robin's egg blue. Be amazed. It is now befitting a gentleman eager to go out into the night and impress the ladies. Yes. Very good, yes. Very good for you. You there. I see you. Right there with your furry legs and hooves. You would like to impress the ladies, yes?
I don't
points
need
at
a
Bucky.
cape to impress the ladies.
Oh, but how easy it would be. They would throw themselves at you should you only dashingly wear this out in public.
What else you got?
All right. No one wants the cape. Fine. I have many other items, perhaps. Just a moment. And he kind of like stuffs it back into his trunk and like just like haphazardly like shoves it in there and digs around. He goes, this one you will love. You will love this. Watch. I can see here the crowd. You are of very few words. Fear not. I have many words for you, and I have blessed my words into an item for you today. And he goes and he produces what appears to be a small, almost action figure of himself. And he goes, this man here, this right here, created in the most handsome visage. Look at this. Look how beautiful it is. This here will be your best friend for those of the wallflower variety. Merely speaking your name into the back of it, they will embark with a voice booming enough to make any formal introductions in court. Watch and be amazed. Look how pretty. And he like whispers into the thing. He sets the figurine down and cranks the back of it 3 times. And he goes, watch. And it rattles and shakes and its mouth opens up like almost like a nutcracker. And he goes, look and be amazed how beautiful this green fellow is here in the front row. You there, Goblin Man, you're handsome. He goes, it will hold anything you wish, up to 25 words even, and it will boom your voice across the crowd should you ever feel too exhausted by the weariness of the day to introduce yourself formally. Can you not see how many uses this has? Truly, it is a fantastic item. I will be taking a loss on it at 25 gold pieces.
I like this.
As you
I'm
should.
going to lie, that could actually have some uses.
It has many uses, every use that you could use. Truly, there is a marvel of engineering here, both magical and physical.
I know a bear of a man that works at a certain distillery that would love this.
Oh, well, I will say, making friends with bears will get you into a number of troubles, my good man. But all the same, I know many bears. They are attracted to me in a way.
I just got what you're saying. Good grief.
I'm simply saying that I am a man's man. The bears, they come to me in the forest and they say, do I shit here in the woods? And I say, no. But my small mechanical friend 3 cranks and he goes, yes, you may shit in the wood. And that is how it is.
I will buy this small mechanical friend of yours.
Very well. A deal well struck, my green friend. Please, the 25 coins and the creature is yours.
I will hand over the coin.
Okay. So write down that you have a figure of introductions. So by speaking 25 words into the back of this creature, it will repeat those 25 words and do so in a booming voice, as if affected by thaumaturgy. Goes, so, truly we have reached the end of our demonstration, but alas, I have one final treasure that is on offer here, direct from Moloch Jinn. A truly marvelous and arcane device. One that heralds back the great history of Valdun. One moment. And he goes through his luggage and he produces a brass-looking pot that tilts and goes wide, and it is a lamp. He goes, this here is a prison to some great and powerful creature, I would ask that you not rub it too hard. For truly trapped within this is a spirit most foul and powerful, able to be weaponized against your most notorious foe. Or perhaps if you are alone on the weekends, they will be your friend and play cards with you. I do not know. I have yet to rub the lamp itself, but trapped within is a powerful creature, of that you can be sure. Yours today, on offer to this crowd. I can't do this all day, after all. 250 crowns for your new best friend. Huh? You look like you want to, baby, rub the lamp? And he kind of gestures it towards Morgan. He's like, huh? I see you have the glint in your eye. She says, my wounded heart.
150, sir.
150 is streetway robbery. Truly, I could go no lower, in fact, than 200.
Well, being a humble servant of the people, I don't know.
Humble servant of the people. Come now, truly.
JJ, how much you need?
Out of character, nothing.
Oh, okay. All right, call it 190 and you got a deal.
190. Well, perhaps I could be persuaded to 190. I tell you what. I can smell it upon you, the call of adventure. I will do it for 190 and your autograph.
I mean, that sounds like a fair deal. I mean, I'd probably do that. All right.
Mr. Colt.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Colt. Yes, Mr. Colt.
Joel knows that this is a bad idea, but Colt would not freaking know this. Colt would be like, whatever, I'll just sign. That's stupid. Why would you want my autograph? I'm just a soldier, idiot.
She's gonna take him aside and whisper to him. You're kind of fond of my mama, right?
Yeah. I mean, not in that way, not in a disrespectful way.
But in a respectful way, you're fond of mama.
Yeah.
Mama has a saying: don't offer your name, don't sign nothing you don't know nothing about, for no reason.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds like sound advice. I mean, it's pretty dumb. He wants my signature, though. I'm nobody. Anyway, no deal, sir. How about this? I'll pay you 190, and I won't call the guards.
Whoa, the guards! I have done nothing wrong. I am a humble peddler of wares from far to the south. Why would you call?
And none of these are stolen?
None of these are stolen. I say this on my 3 remaining lives.
All right. Well, 190 is my final offer, no signature.
190, no signature. All right, then. I will do you one better. How about this? 190, and you give me... He looks you over. He goes, you give me, whatever it is that circular thing in your front pocket. I want that.
Circular thing in my front pocket?
We'll just assume you have like a thing of your chewing tobacco in like the front of your pocket.
My chewing tobacco?
Oh,
no
chewing
deal,
tobacco.
sir. No deal, sir.
Well, fine, then you have to honey the pot. I am giving you a marvelous discount for this item.
You're asking for random items. I will give you 190 gold, and that is my final offer. Otherwise, I'm walking away. That was disrespectful. How dare you ask for my chewing tobacco?
Oh,
I'm so sorry. Well, I'm sure there are other people that want a new best friend and a powerful ally they can call upon at a moment's whim.
It's not in great need. He just made a best friend earlier today.
He did, yeah. He did just get a best friend today.
Well, where is your way to summon this best friend? Where is it?
Lucky starts playing his flute.
Oh, I hit you there with the flute. 185 in the flute. I'll take that.
No.
Well, screw you too, buddy.
Well,
It's a family flute.
That makes it more valuable. 180. And the flute.
No.
I mean,
Well,
But I might buy that cloak. I might buy that cloak.
Oh, the cloak is for sale, yes. A trade for it or gold, yeah?
60 gold.
60 gold pieces. Come on, you're breaking my balls. So tell me this.
I didn't realize he was Italian now.
You're breaking my balls.
You're breaking my balls. Italian, Arabian, we're somewhere in there. We're Southern. He looks to you and goes, I will do this for, because I like your face. I will do this for 70 gold for you. It says 5 gold off.
65.
66.
66, you got a deal.
All right, deal it is. And he reaches in and pulls the cloak out and like kind of just hands it to you and collects the coin. Go ahead and mark your gold off. You want to put that it is a glamored cloak of billowing. So once it's equipped and attuned, you can change it to any color you'd like, any sequence you'd like. And as an action, you can cause the cloak to billow heroically as if there was wind.
That's pretty dope.
It's exactly what I thought it was.
It's a dope cloak.
amazing.
But it always, you can control the gust of wind, and it will always move as if there's a gust of wind wherever you're posing.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. He goes, so then, that is my last item. It appears there are no offers for this. Again, it could be
It's
yours
190.
today.
There's an offer. There's an offer. 190.
You're awfully rude for someone who is out of the bidding pool.
Am I out of the bidding pool now?
I think unless you are going to sweeten your offer, you are out of the bidding pool.
Fine. 195.
195, we have a deal. He
All right.
reaches, he goes, be very careful not to rub unintentionally. Your friend could be released, and that is a thing. He kind of reaches the lamp forward. He goes, the coins first, please. The coins first. The coins. Good.
Okay. Here you go. Your damn coins.
I bet it's empty.
He takes the coins and he hands you this kind of like
Yeah,
polished
but you're the
up.
one trained in insight. I was waiting for you to make that roll.
Who? Wait, who's trained in insight?
Aren't you?
No.
JJ is trained in insight.
Oh, JJ is. Okay.
So he hands you this brassed lamp. He goes, very well then, that concludes my sale, my summer street sale. Right in time for winter, in fact. Well, thank you all. As I like to say in my home country, all sales are final, no refunds. Thank you very much. And he hops down off of his milk crates, locks up his trunk, and begins to make way deeper into the city.
It's just a brass lamp, isn't it?
I'll identify it later. Just take care of it as he asked. It could be cursed.
Oh, shit.
JJ,
Whoa. No one said anything about this being cursed.
JJ's gonna give Colt the money for the goddamn.
No. Don't worry about it. It's on me here. You take this damn cursed item. I don't want that shit
Let me
anymore.
at least give you half.
No, it's all right. I don't spend my money on much. I don't really care for things. But yeah,
Oh boy.
you just take that, and actually, I don't know what you should do with that. That's cursed. Don't touch that. Your mama would be pissed if I gave that to you. Let me take it back. Hey, Morgan. Hey, your mama. I don't know your mama. Here you go. You can take this.
She did as hell.
Here, take this cool lantern I bought. It's real awesome. Don't rub it.
Sure, I'll take
Don't
it.
rub it.
Don't rub it.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my
All right.
Sorry, JJ. I gotta protect you at all costs. At this point, if I gotta die before you die.
For the love of God, don't let that woman scare you.
Really, Colt, I don't know why you're worried. If she dies, we can just bring her back as something and march her home.
I don't know what that means.
Don't worry about it, Colt.
I'm sure she won't notice if JJ's a skeleton. It'll be fine.
She won't notice. It's like it's just like, yeah, you're right. Wait, she won't notice that she's a skeleton? I'm sorry. We need to get going. This is, yeah. Don't rub that lantern.
I'm gonna fake to rub it, just a little bit.
I'll take a look at it later if you wish. Yes, let's continue on.
All right.
Yeah, let's continue.
So you let's see here. You guys continue your journey back to the docks.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Without further delay, you all make your way further north. You come into view as you cross into the docks of the large ferry, and there we go. There, and you can see that there are a number of barrels and crates that are being loaded on there. There are roughly like a good group of new faces that kind of greet you or otherwise kind of look in your direction. And you can see a familiar face with a clipboard shouting orders at people from the side of the docks. And he stands there. He goes, "All right, you scallywags, if you so much as drop a single one of these crates, I'm throwing you overboard. I'm not doing it. You all wanted a paying job. This job pays, okay? Watch your asses." And as you guys approach, he kind of like turns in your direction. He goes, "Oh, it's the baby and friends. Hey, how you guys doing?"
Good afternoon, Fortune.
Is it noon already? Shit. Oh, good afternoon.
Grind.
So, where's Trenton?
Oh, he's, around.
Is he alive around or undead around?
I mean, I don't see him right now, but I assume he's alive.
Well, we'd
Did you
like to
kill him?
speak with him.
Oh, all right.
Did you kill him?
No, I didn't kill him. Why did I kill that guy? He's an excellent drinking buddy.
All right, well,
So
got
much
our eyes on you.
racism. Ugh.
You just think I just kill people. Hey, do you shit in the woods?
Sometimes.
See, okay, well, fair enough then. All right. He just like looks away. He gestures. His Quas is up on the ship. He's probably in his captain's quarters.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you guys are welcome back onto the ship. You head to the captain's quarters. I assume. What do you guys want to do?
Knock.
Knock. Okay. You hear some like shuffling about, and you hear from the other side. Yes, hello. Who is it?
This is the Weaver's Chosen of Lady Gulanti. Your saviors here to have a little discussion with you.
Oh. Just a second. One moment, please. You hear like some shuffling about inside, and the door. You kind of like hear the door opening. You can see that like his outfit is a little distressed and like kind of turned around, and he smiles to you. And he goes, "Welcome back, Weaver's Chosen. So peculiar that you have arrived here. I did not expect to see your faces in quite some time. Please, what does bring you by?" He like leans a shoulder onto the door frame and closes the door to kind of wedge himself between the closed door and the frame.
I'll take the letter that she had provided and hold it out and say, "Our lady has interest in continue our service, considering we have a relation, and you could have much to gain from this."
Well, you know me. I am always at a disposition to assist any beautiful women. However, I'm a bit occupied at this time. And he grabs the letter and kind of like fiddles with it a bit and goes, "I mean, there's a number of financial arrangements I'd have to be looking at."
I will now hold the sack of coin in my hand, but not like out to him. And of course, compensation will be quite wonderful.
Oh. Well, you didn't mention compensation. Of course, then, my friends, my saviors, my darling Weaver's Chosen, heroes of the battle at Grim Village Lake, certainly. Let me just review here. Wanted for crimes. How does she know that? Okay, well, that's and he just chucks the letter behind his shoulder. He goes, "What's a few coins between friends after all? I will take that as a down deposit on this, if you don't mind." He reaches for the coin purse.
And
It'll be payment for it.
Payment for it?
That is your pay.
I'll just
Oh.
kind of tell Aja to just creep along my hand and over the bag.
This would not be the first time I've placed my hand on a snake, I'll have you know. But all the same, if you'd be so kind as to not have me have to wash my hands later.
But I could tell you're already going to need to.
Of course. Well, very well then. What's the job at least? If you're bringing this payment and being so boisterous, the letter says that you have some ventures for up north or what have you. What is this nonsense?
Yes, we have business back in the Grim Village.
Oh,
And we'll be picking some people up
okay.
and continuing on our way to most likely Iskander, but they have further details once we have a little bit more discussion with them. To be quite honest, once we reach Grim Village, your part in this may be over, depending upon how they wish to move forward.
Very well then. Well, at the very least, I will consider it a deal between friends, as was alluded to here. We will happily accept your patronage upon the ship, and of course I will humbly look forward to a destination back to Grim Village, provided I don't have to actually go in the village, do I?
Well, it may come to you.
Of course it might. Who knows? Who knows where it could come or not come, or it's often things sometimes don't. Who knows? But at the very least, between friends, I will happily look forward to this. When are we leaving? Next week? Week after?
Now?
Oh. I'm a bit in the middle of something. If you could give me, say, an hour, maybe 2.
I don't have a problem with that.
That sounds fine to me.
That sounds agreeable.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. But don't see a problem with that.
Very well then. Have Fortune set you up with some nice arrangements below deck. We've recently added a number of hammocks and such. They be nothing but the finest for my dear friends and the chosen of Lady Gulanti. And I, of course, with the one matter of payment, of course, my darling.
How about this? How about this?
How about this?
Half up front,
Sure.
and the other half once we are complete.
Well, there are a number of provisions to get, and licensures, and dock
This is a very
perks.
heavy sack. There's more than enough up front.
All right, fine. Be that as it may, count your little piddly coins out, get half together, we'll settle up before we leave the harbor. How's that?
Very good.
All right. Well, pleasure doing business with you as always, my darling saviors of this and that, what have you. Very well. I will finish my business here, and I will see you later for a happy voyage.
I'm sure you're having one.
Yes, in no manner of small speak I am. You're some type of diviner, you are. Tricky devil. Well, take care. And he backs away from the door and closes it. And you can hear like a thatch kind of go over and lock it. You guys are stood out on the deck of the ship. What do you want to do?
Oh, that went well.
I think he's doing dirty things in there.
Yes, he most certainly is. I would assume at least 2 partners.
I mean, whatever floats his boat. I mean, I'm not going to
Quite literally.
Yeah, Is it floating his boat? Anyway,
So I've got this thaumaturgy doll.
Good lord. All right. So, being that we are at 10 o'clock, why don't we set it here? As your guys' wait between this session and next week, we will pick up after your short rest aboard the ferry of Trenton Quas, and next week we will start your journey back to Grim Village and the beginning of this next story.
If we're doing that, can we just take the first 10 minutes of that short rest and say I identify that lamp and find out if there's anything actually going on with it?
Sure. We can do that right now, in fact. No big deal to me. Let's pull this up here. All right. So you're going to cast Identify on it?
Yeah.
Okay. You cast Identify. It is a Lantern of Imprisonment. With that, it does not require attunement, but it does require that the lamp be rubbed 5 times to unleash whatever is trapped within its walls, if anything.
And with Identify, I can't tell if there's anything in it or not?
You cannot touch the creature you're attempting to identify if there's something inside of it. Identify as touch.
Do I know if it has any mechanics for capturing something else once something is no longer in it?
You would know specifically that there are rituals that would do that, and this would be a suitable container should you ever have one of those rituals.
Gotcha. I understand.
So something like, isn't there like Magic Jar?
Magic Jar is a bit different, but there's I think I know one of the ones you're referencing that would work for that.
Yeah, there are very.
There's ones
specific
particularly for targeting extraplanier creatures and binding them to items.
Yep,
it's that sort of thing.
All the fun.
Cool.
So yeah, that is identified there, and then we will pick it up next week. Same time, same place, back in Direwood, and the journey will begin again. For everyone who stuck with us tonight for the session, we thank you so much. Sorry for all the internet issues. We're gonna troubleshoot it, but you know, I mean, here broadcasting from Florida, it's hit or miss sometimes. If the internet's gonna be great or not, it just hates us sometimes. Doesn't matter how much money you pour into it. Just it's a mess. Like we said, we'll continue to put things up on YouTube. There should be a link in the doobly-doo down there. For Twitch, there'll be like a button that says like YouTube, and it'll bring you to our channel. We upload. Oh god, it's 25% complete already. We upload each new episode the same week that we do it. That way that we can continue to keep you guys there for rebroadcasts, and it helps our players if they want to rewatch or look over something that they might have missed or whatever have you. So for everyone here, thank you guys for tuning into Second Wake. We'll see you next week. Hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.